Hello and welcome to another episode of the ReUp. My name is Jason Delgado. Welcome back. We're all back. It's a new week. It's a new opportunity to shine. I hope you guys had a great week. I've been having a pretty good week. It was a pretty busy week, but I did get to enjoy some cool events. I saw that the Nuggets won the NBA championship. Congratulations to the Denver Nuggets. A team that I never really paid attention to, knew about, or had any inclination to sort of know. I kind of wanted to see the Miami Heat compete a little bit more, but fortunately it didn't work out that way. One of the things I really appreciated, though, about, I don't know, something about, like, just athletes performing at the highest level. There's just an inspiration to it, like something, I do stand-up comedy, and I do, like, writing and directing and all these sort of, like, arty things, but there's just something about, like, just being excellent at a craft and sort of participating at the highest level. Like, there's competition in everything, but, I don't, somebody's funnier than mine. That doesn't mean anything. But in, like, a basketball or, like, a sport, there's this element where, like, you're beating an opponent. Like, it's challenged by this other opponent and yourself, and only, two people enter, one person leaves. And I think, like, there's something really exciting about that, to see people compete at that level and sort of what their mindset is and what it's like, because you work your whole life, you go through all these things, and then, you lose by 3 points. And you're just like, my life, I get, I forget to take my laundry out of the dryer, and I'm like, why? And these people are performing at this super high level, try to do the best they can with the lives that they have and the talents that they have, and the sacrifice and the blood, sweat, and tears, and then it's like, boop, you lost. I noticed that, like, one of the cool things that was inspirational to me was when you see the guys at the highest level, they take accountability and responsibility. And I think that's one of the things in my elder years, as I get to be older and hopefully wiser, there is something about, you take accountability, to a certain point, everything is your fault. And so, like, if you have something happen or you're out there for something and it doesn't work out, take accountability for it. Just say, hey, that was on me. Next time I'm going to do better. And one of the examples of that was Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler is a player on the Miami Heat, killer crusher player, one of the top players, every year competing at the highest level. And he's kind of known as, like, Jimmy Buckets. Like, he's in the clutch. When it's time to go, Jimmy's going to show up. And in the end of the game, I think it was game 1 or game 3, he shows up. They're down. He's just nailing threes, nailing twos. He gets free throws. He gets a 2 and a free throw, puts the Denver Nuggets or the Miami Heat up by 2, or up by 1, rather. So he gets the bucket. They did it. And there was 0.6 seconds left, and Denver threw it in. The guy tipped it up with his fingers and scored. Miami loses by 1. And I was heartbroken just for the guy. I mean, you could say, like, oh, he's going to make $50 million. Why cry? That's not what it's about. When you're sacrificing so much for that and you believe so hard, and then it's like, it must be heartbreaking. And I can't imagine. And I felt for him. And when they asked him about it, like, hey, what did you feel about this? Did you feel like your defense could have done this? You could have whatever. And he's like, we didn't win because I didn't score enough. And he took full accountability. Not that they added the 0.6 seconds back on the clock, or they called this foul or that foul, or this player wasn't ready, or why wasn't he defending him. He said, I didn't make enough baskets, and that's why we lost. And he took accountability for the whole team, a team where people were missing open threes, who were supposed to be the killer 3 guys, but he took it. And I was like, that's the way to do it. At any level, if you want to be a winner, that's the way to do it. Take accountability. Say, hey, on me. I'm going to take care of my side of things. That way I don't have to be pointing fingers playing a blame game. And I was really, he still lost, unfortunately, through all the conquering of those sort of the emotions to want to, like, yeah, it was him. That kind of stuff, I think, is something to be respected, whether you lose or not, And they didn't win the championship, but he won my respect, if that means anything. But I really appreciated somebody just doing that, calling it out, being like, hey, it was on me, and we'll keep moving forward. No blaming, no nothing. True leader. The other thing I thought was really great was the main player, the top player on the Denver Nuggets, is this guy named Nikola Jokic. And he is Serbian, just a giant Serbian man. But looks like he's like a guy from the YMCA, like somebody you wouldn't even like. It looks like he's like security for like a warehouse, just like a basic looking guy, no flash, just a giant man. Plays great basketball, but plays. It's kind of like they say intellectual basketball, but it looks really boring. Like it's great during the NBA finals. They had like all these clips where they had to cut away to like, you know, the sort of like highlights of the game. And they put this music, boom, 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 and every time they cut to like Nikola Jokic, he's just like, he doesn't even like he scores and he just runs back. Very boring. He doesn't fist pump, doesn't joke. They did a fist pump. He had one fist pump during a game. They must have played the clip like 18 times. The guy's just as stoic. He's a rock. And so they win. Nikola Jokic scores like 40-something points. The Denver Nuggets, for the first time in franchise history, since the Denver Nuggets existed, they won the championship. People have been playing for 13 years. He got them their championship. And when they asked him, hey, man, how's it feel? You did it. You won the championship. He's like, it's good. I want to go home. And I was like, I finally have something in common with the top NBA players in the world. Because he looked like it was Friday. His shift ended at 4, and it was 5:30. He was just like, this is very good, and now it is time to go home. He was thrilled. Another thing, afterwards there was a press conference, and they told him that he had to stay for the parade. The parade was on Thursday. And he's like, I cannot stay. I have to go home. And can you do a little more OT, Nikola? He didn't care about the ring. He won the MVP championship. He's holding his kid. Kid touches it. He goes, good. He leaves the NBA thing. He walks off with his kid. I mean, class act stoic. Has these giant brothers that look like a WWE tag team champion like group. They're just these giant Serbian men. They're lifting up the coach, throwing him in the air. You know, people are crying. People are hiding their face. People are hugging. Nikola's just like, I want to go home. It's time to go home. I was like, bro. I mean, it's different for everybody. And I could feel it. I could feel that element where it's like, I mean, I can never sort of right now even imagine what it's like to win an NBA championship, like the sacrifice and all that. But there is this element sometimes when you're working towards something really hard and you're putting so much effort into it. The only thing I can kind of equate it to is making movies. Like when you make a movie, you know, from the emailing everybody to the writing of the script to the rewriting to the meetings to the editing to the post, the sound, and then when you show it, it's like whether people kind of like it or not, there's this sort of like, oh, it's over. It kind of reminds me also of like in the Facebook movie, like after he puts the final piece of code in, he just falls asleep. I was like, it's kind of what it felt like. I think some of these other guys, you know, they sort of maybe pin their identity on winning a championship, and I just don't think Nikola's like that. I think he's like, I just want to play the best basketball I can play, and then just go lie down. I was like, I am with you, bro. I understand. Sometimes, you know, you deliver, you do your best, you give your all. When it's over, it's like, I don't want to go to a party. I just want to lie down. Go home. Apparently he has horses. He's just going to go home, play with his horses, hang out with his kids, living the dream life. So congratulations to the Denver Nuggets and to, you know, and to inspire me. You know, I got inspiration from the losers on it and the winners on it. Because I'd like to react that way to things, you know, where, you know, you want to give props, you want to feel appreciation, but you don't want to be like, what? This is the greatest I give it. Keep your cool, homie. Like, keep it together. And they were pretty cool. Most of the Denver Nuggets were cool. Sometimes these people, you know, I guess you can't blame them. I mean, people playing 13 years of their lives. But it's like, you know, take it cool, man. Act like you've been here before. Nikola act like not only he'd been here before, but he just wanted to go home. He was done with ever being there again. But they're doing good. Hopefully they'll stick around. So that was really, really fun. This week I also did a little video, and it was a shout out to our sponsor. That's right, there's a sponsor for this podcast. It's Tech is Funny. Tech is Funny. Perfect Father's Day gift. Tech is Funny. Need a cool shirt to impress people? Tech is Funny. It's a great place to get mugs, apparel, cool things with cool logos that are like computer related and funny. Get it for your fun brother, cousin, nephew, grandma, mom, dad. Get it for yourself. It's a great gift. Tech is Funny. Check it out. Link down below. Easy to remember. I made a little video about a piece of technology I think some of you might know about. But honestly, I want to say that, but nobody seems to be too excited about this. I mentioned this to like 3 people and no one had heard of it. But in any case, Apple Vision Pro. It felt kind of like an iPhone announcement to me. Like, I thought it was a pretty big deal. It was these glasses or these goggles that essentially turn the world into a computer. I mean, excuse me, essentially, that's what it is. I mean, the thing called, I think it's alternative reality or ultra reality. Anyway, AR is the technology sort of acronym. And it's these goggles that you look through them and you see the world, but then like it can display like a movie right here. It can like display your computer screen right here. So you can like hook up your computer to the goggles and just like not use a monitor and just use your hands to like touch, like kind of like Minority Report. It was pretty amazing. And I thought everybody would be buzzing and huffing about it. And like none of my friends knew about it. People I talked about it didn't know about it. Dad's kind of techie. He didn't know about it. But I watched the whole announcement. Thought it was pretty cool. Thought it looked kind of dorky. The video was sort of talking about how it made you look like Macho Man Randy Savage. But, I mean, I think it's pretty amazing technology. And I just thought, like, it'd be kind of a bigger deal. But apparently, you know, whatever. Nobody really cared. So, I think the big deal was it was $3,500. So people kind of tipped off of that. But, I mean, it looks amazing. If I had the money, I'd definitely get one. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be the future. I think more people are going to use it only because you could just lie down and watch movies. I honestly think that's it. Because I think that there's an element to, like, you can get an 80-inch TV now. You know what I mean? If you have a living room, you could just cover your whole wall in a TV and just sit on the couch and watch TV and have that experience. But a lot of people who are doing these, like, home cinemas and these things, they're sort of just aficionados for them. Like, they just want to have the experience for them. You know what I mean? If I'm in an apartment like this, I can't have like a 90-inch television. You know what I mean? I could, but I get a tan. But I would say that if you could kind of take the idea of having like a giant space that's virtual, then you don't need to kind of fill a house with all this stuff. You know what I mean? You got a basic TV in case people come over to watch the game or whatever. But then when you really want to get your like super hi-fi, you know, movie experience on, lying down in your bed, just like book, you know what I mean? You don't have to sit up like athletes. Dude, be lazy. Be as lazy as you want. It's totally cool. Because that's what I would do. I just lie in bed, put the goggles on, and watch the movie. And you could put like a forest around you to watch it. I think it's a really cool idea. I think more people should be hyped about it, but I think almost $4,000 kind of ruins things. And lastly, this week, I'm hyped about The Flash. It's really crazy because I can't believe some of the stories I'm hearing about this. The Flash is a movie program, and it's starring this kid who I really don't know, but he was in the Batman, Superman movies and some of these other movies as The Flash. But then apparently he, like, started a cult, went on, like, a crime spree, and, like, abducted people. and, like, just went crazy. Like, in Hawaii and all these other states, he was arrested. And he was like a drug addict. He went through all this crazy stuff. And the movie is that good. Warner Brothers was like, dude, we don't care if you're a felon as long as you stop being a felon for the 2 weeks we need to release this movie. Because it's kind of like not even talked about. Like, there's no interviews with him on like The Tonight Show or any of these, you know, whatever, outlets. There's no real press about it. All the trailers kind of show the Flash, but really it's about all the other people. I guess there's Batman and Superman and all these other people. But it was like, I mean, I'm hearing some of these stories, like a cult and like kidnapping people, and they're like not even really sweating it. I was like, the movie must have been that good. Like, they went to Warner Brothers like, this is a convicted felon. They're like, did you see the third act? Did you see when Superman? But apparently it's like a DC lover's dream. Everybody comes back. It's a big deal. I'm kind of hyped to see it. Some people hate on the graphics. I don't know. I'm still going to see it. If it got a felon out of prison, it's got to be worth at least 2 hours. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun listening to these rants. Let me know in the comments. Are you excited about The Flash? Are you excited about Apple Vision Pro? Let me know. Tech is funny. Check it out. You know you want to. It's hilarious. Also, please like and subscribe to the video if you enjoyed it. Thank you for making it this far. I've had so much fun, as always. My name is Jason Delgado. This has been the ReUp. We'll see you on the next one.